the office building, laboratory, it's housed equipment. It's now my electric hub, having my transfer switch and all my major components there and blowers. And it needs some TLC. It suffered a little bit of wind damage on the roof now. So I have a quote for not to exceed $4,500 for roof repair on it. But the more expensive side of it is the concrete block has some damage to it. We're starting to deteriorate. And I've gotten an estimate from Oakstone Renovators for $7,275 to have them come in and replace some of those concrete block on the building to fix some of the structure. I'm asking permission for both of these.
You say some, are you talking a lot or?
Around 25 of the block are crumbling, but they're in structurally prominent areas around the building that I do not want to cave in, that they're crumbling. So yes, to me, there are quite a few, but I mean, it's a good sized building that needs to be attention done to it. The contractor seemed to think that this would fix the problems that we had if we would replace those stones. The rest of it would be sound. It's not something that my crew can do, my maintenance crew can do, so we had to outsource it. I talked to Josh about the contractor who gave us a quote. They worked for the county before and he's worked with them. So I feel comfortable with them.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Yeah.
Fairbanks,
Yes.
Rivera.
Yes.
Amanda, you've got the roof coming out of maintenance repair and the block out of contract improvement. So thank you for identifying those. Carl, do you have any question on that?
No, sir. Thank you.
Amanda, if you can stick around, we'll.
Yep. Thank you.
Okay, the next order of business is to certify the record of proceedings for March 3rd.
Second.
Fairbanks,
Yes.
Rivera.
Moving to approve requisitions.
Second.
Yes.
Yes.
And could I have a motion to approve 2 utility permit applications from Columbia Gas replacing service lines on Windsor and Washington North Road?
So moved.
Second.
Commissioner Mears,
Yes.
Commissioner Banks,
Yes.
Commissioner Rivera.
Yes.
Last item that
Hands first.
agenda we are going to remove at this time.
Did we do I thought we did
Didn't do.
transfers?
Did requisitions.
That's right, you didn't do transfers.
I missed that? Okay, I'm sorry. Could I have a motion to approve weekly transfer and appropriation requests?
So moved.
Second.
Commissioner Mears.
Yep.
Commissioner
Yes.
Rivera.
Yes.
Okay, Carl, any questions?
Nope, I'm good.
Okay, that was pretty straightforward. Okay, it's 9:34. We'll stand in recess till 10 o'clock. We'll meet with SEPCO and have our fourth quarter 2025 review.
to look out and see land.
Well, good morning. It's 10 o'clock. The Richland County Board of Commissioners is back in session. We are joined by Rachel Troyer from Central Services, and from Sedco, we have Cindy Herring with us, who's going to give us a fourth quarter 2025 review. Is Carl still on the line?
Yes, yes.
Well, good morning. Thank you. Been a while since I've been out, so it's really nice to see you guys. I feel like I've been weather grounded for months.
Someone's ever said that to us.
Well, I
No,
was talking to them.
I figured.
Cliff and I hear it all the time.
Yeah, it's true.
So we do have fourth quarter, last quarter of 2025 is what we're looking at. Richland County has an overall loss ratio for that quarter of 110.2. That is up from third quarter, from 105.3 in third quarter. If you flip over to the page behind that, that just basically shows how we get to that loss ratio. Simply your paid claims versus your billed claims. So billed claims went up a little bit since prior period. I do want to note at the very bottom, it doesn't really affect you guys very much, but Aon has started adding that credibility factor as far as how counties are rated. You guys are at 100%, meaning you're a large enough county to where your experience is truly your experience. It isn't weighted so much on, the SEBCO standard or where the SEBCO pool is. It's basically Richland County's experience. So they just want to point that out. I'm hoping we're going to be doing a lot of education this year on how we get to the rates instead of just delivering the rates to you. A little more information out about where those numbers actually come from, kind of a deeper dive into that. So if you flip over to page 3, this may indicate the uptick in ratio. We have a lot of high cost claimants for this quarter. There are 14 of them. With your pulling point of 150,000, of that 3.6 million, 1.5 million is removed from Richland County's experience because you only pay up to that pulling point amount. So that does benefit you there. Again, you've got some sick folks. This is why we offer the benefits. This is why we provide them to county employees and their family members, but quite a few cancer incidences, maybe a heart attack or stroke in there. So your folks are dealing with a lot of stuff. If you flip over to the next page, I've tried to highlight exactly where we're at just to keep it going. Because not only is this font minute, but there's also a lot of information on each page. So under the medical summary, current period is at 9.3 million. You came from 7.9 prior period, which prior period is always to the left of your current highlighted section.
Third quarter.
Right, yep. So that is a 17.9% increase. On the pharmacy side, you went from 3 million to 2.9, so it is a 1.7% decrease. So overall, less than a percent increase, 0.89% in for that period. The next page provides some demographics, some utilizer data. It really is interesting if you're into that kind of thing and want to look at it. We're not going to get into it, but it kind of tells you the age ranges, who's actually utilizing the insurance, that type of thing. And then the page behind that one gives you some more detail at the top. At the bottom, Anthem's kind of changed the reporting, so there's a little bit of pharmacy slid in here in that section down at the bottom highlighted. So these are your top 10 drugs by paid amount. This is no different than any other county. We always see the inflammatory conditions. We always have the diabetes diagnosis, and those prescriptions are the ones that you also see all over TV. So they're the high dollar drugs. They're the drugs that everybody sees the commercial and wants to have. So they talk to their doctor and, if it fits the condition, they'll go ahead and prescribe them.
And
Go ahead.
the generic
Mhm.
is included.
If there is a generic,
Well, I see we got Ozempic here and there is a generic for that.
Yes, so if you have any carryovers of, oh, you don't on this one. So there are generics. It's gonna be kind of like with, can't think of the word. It'll come to me. If the generic doesn't work as well for you as a name brand, they'll fill the name brand. They'll have to fill the name brand for you specifically if your body can't adapt to that generic. But generics are included in this report. These are your top dollar amounts. So if they accept Ozempic as a generic, then they wouldn't be in the top dollar amount. It would fall under
Right,
lower.
Setting that on the name brand.
Yes. Yes. Yep.
I didn't know there was a silent generation. I'd not heard of that. I mean, is it just me?
Yeah.
This is older than baby boomers then, right?
Right. So they've just given up. They just don't talk anymore. It's just let it go. If you flip to the next page, it's just simply the title for the inpatient category. Page behind that actually has your numbers, but what we're going to look at are inpatient, outpatient, and professional costs. So on the inpatient, meaning anyone who was admitted into the hospital, you went from 1.2 million to 2.3 million. So that is an 84% increase from that prior period. Now, again, that's clearly tying into your high cost claimants. You know, folks have, been admitted for those conditions. So then on the outpatient side, you went from 3.9 to 4.5, so that's a 13.3% increase. And then lastly, on the professional, current period, you're at 2.4. Prior period, you were at 2.6, so that did decrease a little bit. We'll take even a small win of a 7% decrease. And then the page behind that one is carryover of the professional. Now, the next 3 pages behind that are just reminders of what we're talking about when we look at those. You know, inpatient is anytime anybody is admitted, or inpatient surgeries, any of your maternity costs are in there. If it's a mental health substance abuse situation, inpatient care there would fall in that category. And then the outpatient is broken down the same way, just so there's an understanding. Outpatient surgeries, any ER utilization, any of our A's, MRIs, any of those types of services, and lab and pathology. They all fall under that outpatient. And then lastly is the professional. So an office visit can be anything from a sick visit to outpatient surgeries that are able to be done in an office setting. Preventive services, which we really like to see, and yours are 4th on the list, so that's good. And again, lab and pathology, if they can be done in an office setting. And then that telehealth category is new on these reports. Anthem redid the reports, changed some things up a bit. This one I actually like because it does tell you that your folks are utilizing telehealth when it's available and when it's the best thing for them. So this can be telehealth through your doctor if they offer that in their office. This can be telehealth through Live Health Online. And the physical therapy would be the SWORD program. Excuse me. And then the mental health substance abuse could potentially include that Live Health Online psychology as well. So any questions over any of that? Behind that one, you have your top 25 providers, where your folks are going for care. It's always good to see when they are staying local. We're always going to see those facilities that are specific to certain conditions. So the James is going to be on there. Children's will always be on there. If there's anything major that's happening, you're not going to get away from that one. And then as far as the very bottom being out of network, anybody with VA coverage, It runs through Anthem's plan. It's going to be coined as out of network. Still covered, but out of network.
That's a question here.
Sure.
The very last item is Cleveland Clinic, and there's a negative amount for claimant?
So that means that they were potentially overpaid or somebody had a different primary.
Okay,
So it had to go through the other primary insurance. So then Anthem ended up paying less.
the sum is
claim.
also negative. Okay.
Yep. And then those are all your inpatient. Your outpatient is the page right behind that. And for the most part, staying local unless it's something major that's happening. That one in the second category is probably someone vacationing since it's an emergency room and it is in Texas. Something happened unfortunately while someone was visiting or on vacation or traveling, and they ended up utilizing that service. Any questions for me?
12.2 basically in 1 quarter. Medical and prescription. Nearly $49 million for the whole year.
And I think the high cost claimants drive a lot of that, but also end of the year is when people typically get things done because you're either close to or have met your deductibles. So fourth quarter is usually heavy
Right.
across the board. So hopefully when we get first quarter in, we get a better picture of, you know, the
Yeah.
norm.
What fourth quarter in 24 was?
I don't have it here, but I can find that
Hold
out.
on,
Be interesting.
hold on. See if I can pull it up. Reports. Your Sebco 24. I have the annual, not the first. I have annual. Oh, that's just already 25. I have the whole year. I don't have the-
I'll shoot you an email. Worth looking at.
Okay. Carl, do you have any questions?
No, sir, but thank you.
Okay. No other questions for Cindy? Did you have anything to say?
Thank you.
Is there any other business to come before the Board of Commissioners at this time? Hearing none, we stand adjourned at 10:12.